I did bring my headphones up.
Okay.
Well, we could do that too.
Okay. It's just saying right this moment that it's setting up our meeting for Facebook, and it's redirecting, and it should start in just a minute.
Okay. Oh, there it is, I think.
Yay. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's me.
Yay, there's us. Okay. So everybody, we are so excited to have you on and tell you about immune boosting chai. So the reason why I asked the lovely Amy DePoint on is because Amy has a background as an acupuncturist and an herbalist. Mainly, she does a lot with Chinese herbs, but I know she dabbles in a few other things, and I'll let her mention those. Her one of her big things is that she's really interested in women's fertility. So if anybody has struggled in that vein, feel free to reach out to Amy, because she's really had a very big specialty with using acupuncture for that. And Amy is also from Minnesota. Her and I have known each other for a very long time. And there was a time and place where Amy had moved out to the West Coast, and she ended up picking up also Mayan Abdominal Massage. So she's just really about nourishing our core, nourishing our digestive systems, and just helping us feel really connected to who we are. And she makes these amazing, guys, she makes these amazing chai kits. She also makes this amazing elderberry kit. And so I thought it'd be so fun for you to learn about this chai that she makes, because all of us, have probably had chai at this point. It's very kind of mainstream. However, making sure that your chai is helping you keep your immune system up, I mean, it just is a bonus to me, because it's already delicious. But then on top of it, making sure that you have extra little herbs socked away in there that will keep you feeling like you're keeping the crud at bay is really important to me. I don't know. But I'm hoping that she will inspire us all to make our own chai and to be prepared for this fall. So we have some more things that we'll talk about to be prepared for any illness. But Amy, yay, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I am so glad too. Okay. Yes, like Mary said, we've known each other for a long time, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I am an acupuncturist and an herbalist. And after I had kids, I realized that I needed things a lot simpler, and I needed things that were tasty, and I needed things that weren't going to be overwhelming, because when a child gets sick, it's like your brain goes out the window and you just are like scrambling. How do I help them feel better? So I went to more of like a folk medicine route, even though I have a degree in herbs. I think that for everyday use at home, it's really nice to have a few things in your back pocket. And so one of the things that I used is a chai. I love chai. It's warming, it's amazing, but it can also be a huge source of amazing herbs and antivirals and antibacterials and herbs that can help raise the white blood cell count, which I love, and it's super tasty. I am pulling us up. Is anybody on right? Oh, there we go. I'm going to pull us up a little bit on this one here. And if you guys have any comments or questions, let me know. But otherwise, I'm just going to kind of give you the lowdown of what I do and why I do it. And then we'll get into the chai. All right. So over the years, I have worked on this recipe, and I will give it to you all so you can make it to whenever you want. But even for my own use, I create them in advance. So I make a bunch of little teas. Oh, I don't have the little tea bags in here. Let me grab them for you. It's good to be set up. So what I'm going to do, so I set everything up. And I do have these little tea bags that now I use, but you can just dump a bunch of things into the pot too. But I have these all set and ready to go. So as soon as I know we've been exposed to a virus or one of us starts to feel ill, this goes on the stove. And if I have elderberry, that goes on the stove as well. I don't do these things every day, even though I could drink chai every day. But I think that it's important to do medicine things not all the time. We just want to stimulate the immune system. We want to help where it's needed, but an everyday use, I don't ascribe to. But chai is delicious, so you could drink this. You could drink this pretty often, but I usually put it on when we start to feel ill. So I don't know. Does anybody have any questions about that, or is I'm just going to go into it?
I would go into it. I'll be watching the chat to see if we get questions.
I have a little show and tell. Is anybody's watching yet? Does anybody know what this is? Besides the Japanese beetles. Mary, do you know what this is? Can you tell?
It looks like a rhubarb leaf, but I don't think that's what it is.
No, it's burdock.
It is burdock. Yummy. Oh, good.
I pulled this out of my garden. There's burdock everywhere. You can find it. I found a ton of it just on the roadside down the street. But we don't eat the leaves. I put burdock. Burdock is harvested in September in the fall. So it kind of gives you a good indication of what burdock is good for. Pretty much anything and everything that ails us for the fall. So that's one thing to think about with herbal medicine. Think about the season that they are for, the season that they are harvested. And it gives you a really good clue why and what they're good for. So burdock is really, I put it in there because it's really good for blood and lymphatic systems. And it kind of helps you move out the crap that's in the body. Okay. So it's also good for like scratchy throats and things like that. So you typically think of burdock being in chai, but why not? It's amazing. And then I buy a lot from Mountain Rose Herbs. I love them. So anyways, this is dried. I'm gonna chop up what I have too this fall and use it, but I put this in there. So this is one of the things that I use is burdock root. It's a very earthy flavor, but 1 tablespoon is fine. What's another thing? So that's my only show and tell I have to. Sorry, I breathed in some herbs. Hold on. Okay. The sneeze might come later. Okay, there's another thing that I put in my chai, and is in most chais that you guys might know. If you guys do any curry cooking, what could it be? I'm showing you the dried versions. Oh man, it's still in there. Ginger.
Oh yeah.
It's backwards, of course. But ginger, I think, is really good. It adds a spice to it, and it's antiviral, antibacterial. I pretty much put this in most things. And in Chinese medicine is also extremely popular. You just slice up ginger and throw it in a cup of water every morning. And when I'm on my self-care, I do that in the morning too, with a little bit of lemon, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of honey. It's delicious. So I definitely put this in the chai. It's a killer of all things. What else would you get? Oh, this is another common spice, and it's also in most chais, and I put it in mine too.
Black pepper.
Black pepper. So black pepper is also good for opening things up. It's spicy. And you, like the recipe I'm giving you is very child friendly. And they do like a little spice, but you can always add more. Pepper will be your friend if you like a really spicy chai. Oh, and you might not realize this, but pepper, even though it's spicy, there is an anti-inflammatory quality to it. And when we get sick, we kind of want, I mean, that's the goal, is to bring down the inflammation and help move the crap out, and to help raise our white blood cell counts, right? So all these herbs help to do that. Okay, what's the next one? This one's a big one. Can anybody see this? Oh, my light. There we go. This is Astragalus.
Ooh.
It's very popular in Chinese medicine as well. I use this a lot. And I use this in the chai. The recipe I have just calls for a handful of them. But some other herbalists, they put in gobs of it. It's not the cheapest herb, but it's very good. And it's also, we got hit with hand, foot, and mouth many times with kids, and we never had much of an issue, but I did use a ton of astragalus. So we had chai tea for hand, foot, mouth, and that's more in the summer. Actually, I think August is a hot time for hand, foot, mouth. So be watching for that. And I was reading some studies about the Coxsackie virus version of hand, foot, mouth, in that astragalus has been shown to be really good for some of those viruses. So it makes sense, but I really feel like it helps kick it to the curb really fast. Thankfully, out of all the times we've been hit with hand, foot, mouth, it didn't last more than a few days. So just throwing that out there too. If you get, it's not just for cold and flu season, but also we use it anytime we get some big thing coming through. So that's astragalus or Wang Qi. Let me see if there's any other things I want to tell you. Oh, it's also really good for digestion. Wow, it's just really good. Put it in.
Put it in. Toss it in.
Toss it in. All right. The next one is also popular, I think, more in Indian cooking. It smells amazing. Let's hold it up and see.
Are those cardamom pods? Cardamom.
Yes, cardamom pods. In my kits, I don't actually crack them all open, but if you wanted to, I just take the edge of a knife and smash them. They're pressed down on them to kind of release them. But I love cardamom, so I'm a little bit heavy-handed in my recipe. You can always adjust that for what you want. Some of the recipes I look at, I'm like, oh man, that cardamom is seriously lacking. But some people, they don't love it as much as I do. So
I am on the same page. I love cardamom.
You like cardamom?
I love it. I love it. I love it. It makes me so happy. It makes everything. It's such a nice switch out. Like if you're used to putting cinnamon into some baked good or something to like add something, it's like, oh, let's swap that and do cardamom instead. I mean, because sometimes they compete if you put them both together. So anyway, yes.
That's a really good point.
I am obsessed with cardamom.
I want to do that. I have a lot of cardamom that's underutilized as ground cardamom. I'm going to do that. This is also really good for digestion. And any virus kind of hits us digestively as well. Everything kind of slows down for a reason. So anything we can do to help with that. Then of course, anti-inflammatory. What else is it good for? Yeah, digestive issues. And we use this in Chinese medicine for digestive issues. So, all right. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you were here, Mary. Smell it. It's delicious. All right. This, we were just talking about it. I do put cinnamon in the chai as well. I have switched to sweet cinnamon, and in the link I'm going to give you with the recipe, I also have another link to somebody who wrote a really nice thing up. It's easy to understand about the difference between sweet and I hope I'm not Ceylon ginger, or I mean cinnamon, which is or cassia. Okay, so cassia is the one that's usually used. I really like sweet for its medicinal qualities. So I'll link up to that for you to go over, but any cinnamon is going to be great. What do you think about cinnamon?
I love cinnamon. Oh yeah, I think it's great. The other thing that's really nice is a lot of people enjoy chai because it is sweet, right? They like a little bit of sweet, and a lot of people, and I'm going to talk about sugar cravings in a little bit, not today, but like cinnamon is great for balancing blood sugar, right? And it's really great for, and it's so great for when you have those sugar cravings where things are kind of off the, you're just adding a little cinnamon to something. So if you're having some sweet potatoes, add some cinnamon, or some parsnips, add some cinnamon and some coconut oil, or, add it to your, use your chai and add some, it just makes things so nice. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, because I'm kind of a coffee purist. If I drink coffee, I wouldn't add cinnamon. But for those people who are like drink coffee for a different reason, then maybe I'd add cinnamon with some milk, but to help with balancing those blood sugars.
Yeah, that's a great point. I forgot about that. Yes, great for blood sugar levels. I added to Dandy Blend. I think it's good.
Yeah, everything added to Dandy Blend is good.
Oh, I started drinking too much coffee, but I used to only drink Dandy Blend. I got to get back into that. It's so good. So
As a
good.
side note, we'll post a link to Dandy Blend, because those of you who are trying to kick the caffeine, you could move to chai, or you could try this other option. Or if you're gluten-free and you are kicking caffeine, we'll share the Dandy Blend. It's different. It's basically dandelion with some other other herbs along with it to make it tasty and kind of heavy, but we'll just post a link to that. And if you have questions, I'm happy to talk about it, because I love Dandy Blend.
Yeah, it's also anti-inflammatory. Yay, dandelions.
Dandelions are the best. Cleansing your liver cleansing.
Yeah. I think, does Dandy Blend have burdock in it too? I mean, I love myself some burdock. It has a few roots in there.
I know it has chicory, but I don't remember if it has burdock.
Oh, chicory.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. A couple more things that I like to put in mine, and that wouldn't be in most chai recipes. Well, clove would be. This is clove. I love clove too. I'm a little light-handed with it in my recipe, but like I said, I've been working this one for years, and the recipe I'm giving you is my favorite. So clove, we put a few of those in. Those are pretty pungent. I don't want to overdo it with clove. And clove we use for pain, right? And there's all sorts of good things that clove is good for.
Good for numbing.
It's numbing, yeah. It's also anti-parasitic, antiviral, antibacterial. Clove is amazing.
Got a toothache? Toothache, put some clove in there.
Yeah. I used to walk around with them stuck in the back when I was little. My mom, if I ever complained, said, "Here you got, like with the molars coming in." Oof. I had a lot of cloves in the back of my mouth. This is another one that most people will hear about, maybe even take in the pill form, but we're talking about just whole foods, even though these are dried. Throwing this in. This is echinacea. So echinacea is a nice immune boost too. It really helps with that, with raising the white blood cell count. Our daughter got really, really sick a couple of years ago, and they were concerned with her white blood cell count. So they took a look and did a blood draw, and it was amazing. Her white blood cell count was working just fine, but I did have her on a lot of herbals. She did need extra care, but we knew her system was fighting the good fight. Echinacea played a role in that too, I'm sure of it. And then this is another one that's good for digestion. It's often given when you walk out of an Indian restaurant as you leave. Fennel. Little candies. Yeah, fennel. Smells so good.
So good for the digestive system. Yay.
And then this is one. So I like vitamin C. And I also think chai should have orange in it. But if you don't like orange, there's other ways to get vitamin C. But I usually throw orange peel in. My kids eat a lot of oranges in winter. So I just throw the whole peels in. I don't necessarily use dried, but when I make my kits, I use dried because I want to just make sure you have everything that you need in there. And that also smells really good. But yeah, a little boost of vitamin C. And in my echinacea or my elderberry syrup kits, I use a lot more rose hips, but you could always throw rose hips in there too. Whoa, rose hips. So most of these I buy at because I make such massive amounts of kits. I buy them at Mountain Rose, but I love going out and trying to do as much wild foraging and wildcrafting as I can. I think it's super fun, especially with the kids. I mean, eventually they get bored, but digging things out of the ground is super fun, and collecting. And I employ my 8-year-old with a lot of, oh, there she is, with a lot of herb collecting as well. Right, Hattie? Do you help me with all the herbs? Mm-hmm. Do you like the chai that we make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really going to be done with this because Mom, when me are gonna leave soon.
Oh, they're taking her kitty to the vet.
Wait, is this Mary?
She got sick. Yeah.
I thought.
All right.
Thank you for remembering me.
Yeah, you're a little dark in the screen, but good eye, Hattie. So I have my pot and I throw all the herbs in with a bunch of water. I usually do about 5 cups of water for the recipe that I'm showing you. And then I just let it simmer for like 45 minutes. So if I get distracted, it might go a little longer. But you're basically making a chai concentrate. So you can add your milk of choice. We use non-dairy around here. I like almond milk with it, but whatever whatever works for you, you can add it. And then we add honey. And I really do like local honey. Raw local honey is what I use at home. That's what I encourage most people to do because of the immense benefits that the bees bring to you that are local to you, because they are collecting the pollen that is local to you, and that can be really helpful for allergies and illness. And honey and honey is also really well-known and highly used substance for hundreds of years for its antibacterial qualities. So ingesting it is sweet, but it is also has that medicinal quality. And so we use local raw honey here, and I just mix it all up. I don't boil my milk, but I add it to it afterwards. And oftentimes I just store the concentrate in the fridge, and then we mix as we go. So I mix half and half, but that'll be up to you. I do put the honey in the concentrate though after I'm done, because honey is always easier to mix in when it's warm. So, but then I just add the milk as we need, and it's delicious. It's really good.
Yes, I will say I've had it. It's very good.
Thanks. Yeah, good. So that's what I wanted to show you guys today, and how a lot of these aren't just readily available in my kitchen, but you can pick them up, or I can send you some chai kits so you can have them and you can try it. But I want you to have the recipe because I want you to be empowered to start exploring and using these herbs for yourself, and you can adjust them if you make them yourself. And I usually do online classes, or not in-person classes in the fall to help people get ready for chai, with fire cider, with syrup, but we're not doing that anymore. So we're going to do an online thing. So just trying to get you guys all that information to make it super easy for you to just go through the kitchen and make garlic honey for, when people are feeling ill. So a friend and I are pulling that together. We're super excited.
Good. So
just trying to make good health simple. Okay, sounds good.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Holly. Or not Holly, Mary.
Bye. So, okay, when it comes to your particular chai, like I think, when I make a chai from like a tea bag, right? Like I make a huge cup, right? So I'm just trying to put this in perspective. Like when one of us, let's say that we bought all the herbs that you're going to put the links in here for, and we follow the recipe and we do the 5 cups of water, and then it cooks for 45 to plus minutes, and it starts to get more and more concentrated, and then you strain, like when you're ready, you strain it, and then you put it and you bottle it. Like how much do you say, like, is it making an 8-ounce cup? Is it making 4 ounces of the concentrate, 4 ounces of milk, or something like that?
Yeah. Money.
Checkbook.
So about a quart is what it makes with the
right.
Oh, God.
You okay, baby?
Not.
They're headed out the door. She's okay. About a quart with the milk. So that would be 4 cups. Depends on how long you boil it. I don't know. Some people don't boil as long. Some people boil it longer, but you'll taste it and know if it tastes really chai, then you can always add more milk. But I'd say about a quart is what you can expect. I do sell some with like two of those tea bags full of herbs that you can either dump out or just leave in the paper liner, paper filter. And that would, make you a lot. Yeah. And then I don't know, I guess sometimes the kids get a hold of it and honestly they drink the whole dang thing in like a day and a half.
Right.
I have to watch it. So then I would maybe do double the recipe.
Yeah. So, because when I made your kit, I got about a quart, and then, it's a matter of, okay, it's not like drinking like just like, do I pour an 8-ounce cup? Do you know what I mean? Or do I pour 4 ounces of the concentrate and then 4 ounces and consider that like an acceptable dose, as basically what I'm asking. Yeah.
I would drink it. I try to drink it through the day when people are starting to feel ill. So if you're just drinking it because you want to do some prevention, once in the morning is great. But if the kids are starting to feel ill, you're right. I'll do like, I don't know, it might honestly be more like 6 ounces, but I'll do that a few times through the day. Typically when you're dosing with herbal medicine, if you can kind of get it going in the beginning a little bit more frequently, and this is pretty mild, like this is kid friendly. My kids have been drinking it since they were 1. It's nothing super heavy hitting, but it, as in like you need to come see me for a prescription, but it is effective.
Right.
So I would say I would do it through the day.
Yeah. Great.
Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Here's a little bit of tea. And they usually love it. They love it so much. They just drink it right up.
So, I mean, having that said, it sounds like it could be, like maybe order a kit, try it, see how much you love it, and then like bulk order some so that you can have it going all the time. Because like you said, during the fall, anytime, I mean, all of us, I think, are heightened right now. If we hear somebody sneeze or hear somebody cough or hear anything, everybody's a little just nervous. So having the ability to just sip on it throughout the day seems like it might be a really nice option to just not only keep your immune system running up, but have you feel like you're actively engaging in staying healthy, as well as hopefully getting a good rest and trying not to stress out about it. All the other peripheral things that really have a huge, those all have a huge impact, but so
and it does feel like self-care. It's like a warm blanket wrapped around. Oh my
God, I know. So I do have one question, because I know that there's a lot of people that are in this group that I know because of Ayurveda, and a lot of people will make things more fresh, right? Adding the fresh ginger and adding everything. And the one thing that I used to struggle with, and this is why I like using the dried herbs, is you have to be very meticulous about when you put the ginger in versus when you put the milk in, if it's fresh, right? So like, because it can curdle. Do you know about this? Okay.
I don't know. I never ever use milk in with my ginger unless it's my chai. So good. Thank you for bringing this up, because I do use a lot of fresh ginger, but it's in tea. It's in water.
Yeah. Okay. And then you might add the milk later anyway, after it would be, if you, no,
if
you're just drinking
fresh ginger, I'm only doing like honey lemon tea with ginger.
Okay.
So I didn't know that, but that's good to know.
I
if
think
you are using fresh herbs, then I don't have that recipe. But you can try to construct it. It's just going to taste differently, because drying does create a different quality and energetics to a lot of herbs.
Right.
So that would be something to consider.
I think it's also something I paid a lot of attention to when I was, I'm not doing it right now, but I was making, golden milk all the time. And my husband's always like, when are you going to do that again? And I'm like, when are you going to do it? when are you going to make that your like nightly routine that you do for us instead of me doing it for you? But anyway, that is beside the point. But yes, so that was another thing to think about. So I think I would rely on doing the dry ginger, because I was like, I don't want to possibly mess up my batch of deliciousness. Good. So Amy, is there anything else you would recommend about, like, because what we're recommending with this chai, it goes beyond just enjoying a beautiful cup of chai. This is like, it is medicinal, it is very healing, and it is a form of self-care. So is there anything else you'd like to impress upon anybody about, hey, here's why you should consider doing this for yourself, or here, I'd already told you, but this is like, let me hit this home.
Well, first of all, I think this chai is really mild, but it is more warming. And so when we're thinking about the energetics of herbs, that is something. I wonder if I have, oh, that'll be in the class that we do. We do talk a little bit about energetics, and I do think that there is something to be said. I mean, this group even has intuition in the name. I love it. You need to sit with it and see if it feels right to you and go with that. But almost all of these herbs are super commonly used in cooking and different things. And so sit with it. Know that folk medicine, like in the link I just posted on the Facebook Live, I do go into some of the Eastern medicine points just because a lot of my people come to me for Eastern medicine. But it is folk medicine, and it is adjustable. And so kind of playing with it and having so much fun with it. The kids and I have so much fun throwing the things into the pot. It's beautiful. It's for all the senses. As it cooks, it fills the whole house with that smell. So you're engaging that, the taste, probably even hearing and touching and whatnot. And I think that's one of the beauties of like kitchen medicine and folk medicine. And that's why that's why I have invested some time into it, because it is so fun. It's so engaging, and it's also incredibly beneficial, because we are mostly using the herbs that, the universe, God has put in our path for that time and that season. And so the chai is heavy on fall herbs, because lots of stuff pops up in the fall. And so also thinking about what's in season and eating more in tune with the natural cycles of nature is important as well. So have a lot of fun with it. It is incredibly effective on a Western medicine standpoint, but also on an energetic standpoint as well, for that health, mind, body, and soul.
Yay! Well, Amy, thank you so much for sharing with us today. This is awesome. I love the kit option, and I am so impressed we actually get the full recipe, you guys. This is such a big major deal. Like, thank you, Amy, because
You're
really
welcome.
I can't wait. I can't wait to make it. And like you said, it is so fun to kind of put your AKA witch hat on. We're not witches. Like, that's not what this is about. This is just getting in touch.
Kind of fun, like
like it's so playful to make hanging out in the kitchen just fun and silly, and like, well, what should we put some more in? Whether you have children or not, allowing yourself to be playful in the kitchen can be something that you as a person need to work on, because sometimes the kitchen feels daunting. So making something like a chai that's, yes, there's kind of a lot of ingredients. She listed a lot of ingredients, but at the same time, it's real simple. It's just like a little bit here, a little bit here, and then you just allow it to be what it is. So yay.
Yeah.
Well, Amy, thank you. I think that you and I will be back together at some point in the next couple months here, but she's gonna drop her links in if you aren't already seeing them, and she will see what kind of comments that she's getting from any of you, and let you know. But yay. Anybody who makes this chai, I can't wait for you to post in the group. Show me a selfie with the chai in your mug and how happy you are about it. Or, or if you're like, I had to wind down on the pepper, or I added more pepper. We'll all be so excited to hear about it. So thank you, Amy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey.
All right.